Hello and welcome. I'm Mercy the Game Master here at the Monsters, and we're back with another Working Wednesday stream. If you're not familiar with the format of the show, we got 30 minutes on the clock. We'll take about a 5-minute break, come back, work for about 30 more minutes, and then we are out of here. The goal is to stay at least fairly focused on the subject and, of course, accomplish as many of our goals for the day as we can, and also not to take too long doing it. So the show should ideally be somewhere between an hour and no more than 90 minutes, kind of our cap. And we're going to get to it. Hello, Kale. How are you? First things first, though, as a quick plug that I need to do. Well, hello there. How are you today? I'm sorry, I do not know how to pronounce your name. I vaguely remember talking to you. Yes, I might need a little bit of a reminder if there's something in specific that you'd like me to recall. But I do remember talking to you. I remember your name. If you guys have not had a chance to enjoy yet, our recent short here on YouTube, linked in the chat, is our most viewed thing that we've ever put up on YouTube. It is past 10,000 views and has been continuing to creep up since then, and also is very close to 400 likes, which is crazy. So thank you to everybody that's already helped boost that, and if you haven't yet, hope you get a chuckle out of it, and that you enjoy. As far as sessions go, the last quick piece of news: we do have D&D again this Saturday. That's Saturday the 24th. Tech setup starts at about 3 Pacific, and session starts at about 3:30. This is expected to be the culminating finale of our huge battle scene. So, thus the to-do list for today. With that said, I think we are going to get into it.
YouTube stream is now live.
Nailed it. And probably level 3 for almost everyone. Highly likely, yes. Speaking of which, I need to touch XP, but first let's get to our session notes. Profile location. That's me, by the way. You know that I don't remember you. Maybe not. Your name does look really familiar to me. So if we haven't talked before, then I apologize. I'm not trying to lead you on. But your name does look very familiar to me. I am not good at names, so at best I tend to get like, that looks familiar. But regardless of whether it's the first time or not, I want to say thank you for being here. I hope you're having a good day. Okay, there's the notes file. Let's get the XP thing pulled up. Yeah, I appreciate you. My setup was different. It's been a long time. You don't know if I'm the same guy. Depending on how long it's been, it could very well be that I was streaming Minecraft on YouTube at the time. I feel like you had like a brother or something. I feel like we talked. I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah, if you go back far enough, the camera used to be at an angle kind of more like this ish, and then behind me you could see there was a desk kind of over here that had stuff on it. I don't know. Like I said, I don't remember a lot about you, but I swear to God, your name looks familiar. All right. So, first things first. We have session XP, which I suppose. Oh, this is going to be really sad. It's time to hide Ava on the XP sheet. We know that at least indefinitely. That's not going to be pertinent. It's crazy. Even though 5 is actually like on the bigger side of a normal D&D party, it's crazy how much smaller the XP sheet looks with only 5 people on it. Yo, how you doing, Justin? Yeah, big Pepe hands, honestly. Honestly. Doing good. Glad to hear it. Man, I have to say, I misunderstood what your plans were for your own working stream last week. I assumed, for some reason, I assumed that it was going to be kind of a, 1 to 2 hour affair, kind of like what we were doing. So I turned it on after we ended, which is a little later than I'd intended, and lurked for a little bit, and then I just like assumed that it was over before I got back to the computer. And then Amras messaged me later, and he was like, "Oh yeah, no, they were live for like 2 more hours." And I was like, "Oh, crap." Set up for crafting stream. Very cool. D. Gotcha. So I'm trying to think, as far as session XP goes, how do I feel about that? As far as how much experience. Oh my gosh, I'm clicking on so many wrong things right now. As far as how much experience we want to give there. How much experience we think makes sense to give there. Let's be clear. Oh, that too, Kayla. You're thinking of on Saturday. I was talking to Justin about the Wednesday stream, but yes, that also was fun. I feel like the last session for us ended up being a little bit more transitory than I expected. I thought that that was going to be like almost all execution, and of course there was some of that, but for a couple of reasons we were just slightly off the pace that I was expecting. Your Monday to Friday bedtime has been like 8 p.m., 9 p.m. max. If you have not had plans come up that went later beforehand. Yeah, I hear you. What time are you waking up? Slash, what time are you actually going to sleep? What the heck did I do with the XP sheet? There it is. God, I'm in shambles. Oh no. Threw something off onto a monitor that doesn't actually exist. Okay. All right, all right, all right, all right. Okay, so that was the thing that Alendite did. It would probably be worth more XP. What about Rubato? Kabosh. Okay, let's see. How do I want to word this one for Druge? I'm just kind of thinking through for everybody. Okay. Sorry, I had to double check some math there. Oh man, I think I want to categorize this under role play. This was what do we call that? What was the term in the book for? I called it sprinting, but I don't think that was the right word. But that's okay. I'll know what I'm talking about. Now I'm trying to think about when you exert yourself to move a vessel faster. Rules are there to help story dynamics. I mean, at the broad scope, yes, you don't technically need any rules. D&D is just a framework for improv and collaborative storytelling. But I do think that there are different ways to utilize, to appreciate or depreciate rules systems to tell different types of stories. No way you're gonna make that right. I mean, I could see it going either way, but I understand not doing it. Eight 24 is the next session. Like, do your players take the big risk? Sure. It's just I think if there's no consequences for failure, then to me that changes the stakes significantly. I think taking the risk is fine, but it's not a risk if there's no penalty for failure. Like, it's like literally definitionally not a risk at that point. All right. There's the XP. We need to adjust the failure to match the success. I mean, I think the success being a 50% speed bonus and the failure being a 50% speed penalty, like that's about as about as matchy as it gets. So we want to prep our session 15 notes here. Is hello, Silent Watcher. Agreed. And Ken as well. Hello, hello. How are you? Let's see. What's our sit rep? Like, what time does dawn actually happen? I know it depends some on the tilt of the Earth on its axis and whatnot, but what time is dawn? Right now it's 5:30. Wow, it's very late. Okay, that kind of works. I was thinking because we've been doing kind of about an hour per session during the battle. So, excuse me. So I think we'll say like nearing the end of the 3 o'clock hour. So the next session will be starting near the start of the 4 o'clock hour. You're working on some planning as well. Very cool. Thanks for joining in to do some co-labor. In the groundwork for the party to uncover a cultist following and incur their wrath after defeating an infernal summon. That sounds like an awesome hook. Let's go. Okay, that's happening. That's happening. That's happening. Is there anything else that I really want to include in the sit rep? I think that's duh. Citizens within the region are feeling the pressure because of military defense costs. So problem. Okay. Yeah. So there's a few things that we have in our notes here that we're kind of cleaning up. One is, okay, is there any of this that I can get rid of? Well, I don't need the rally speech in my notes anymore because we used that. The pre-rolled weather is probably not important, but I will carry that forward to the next note sheet. Information on people from Skavash's guild we'll keep in case we need that. Rules on breaking items might potentially be useful. So we'll leave that stuff in. Have some spells, very nice. Let's see. General info. We have some pre-rolls that I used during last session. Those don't need to be in the notes sheet anymore. We're probably done. I'm trying to be spoiler free. So we're probably done with that. As it relates to the scene at the harbor. I think that's spoiler free. Okay. That's done. Oh, you know what? I don't think we actually did in the moment. I don't think I actually rolled the rally check for Bridget. So we might do that really quickly. Okay, then we look at scene beats. Which ones did we hit? Which ones do we still... which ones did we hit? Which ones could we still hit? And which ones are no longer relevant? Okay. I had three... I had broken up anticipated scene beats into thirds. Everything in the first batch has been dealt with or is no longer pertinent. What about in category 2? How much do you prep on those? You always just powerhouse, improv, that kind of thing. Generally speaking, I'm very much an improv DM. It's actually been, I've been kind of challenging myself to do more prep because honestly, I ran this game. The total amount of prep that I spent on this game during the 1,000 hours we played it at the table was probably less than 10 hours. Like, honestly. Like, very, very minimal. I'm very much an improv DM at heart. So I've been trying to challenge myself to learn some planning. Now, I think one of the important parts with planning is being willing to let your what do they say? Not let your heroes die, but like let your favorites die. I can't think of the idiom that I want, but sometimes it's not going to happen. What has been working for me? Like, what is the low hanging fruit that you could use in your games? As far as like how to prep more, or as far as like scene beats that I'm trying to include, or can you expand on that a little bit? Do I ever plan several sessions in advance? Sort of. So, like I said, I at heart am an improv DM. So I plan, most of what planning I usually do is very broad strokes. It's about sprinkling in hints and dangling story hooks, and then kind of letting the players decide what they want to pursue. So I guess in a way, like a lot of times I'm planning like 5, 10, 20 sessions out, and in some ways I'm like never planning. Because like assuming that the party survives this weekend, I have I would say strong expectation of what they're probably going to choose to do next. And that is because of some stuff that's been happening over the course of the last, I don't know, 5, 10, 15 sessions, that's been kind of sprinkled in here and there. So like in a way, I've been kind of planning that in the back of my mind as far as like, well, what will they want to accomplish when they go to do that thing? What will be some challenges that they will face? What will be some positive outcomes? What will be some negative outcomes? So like that's in the back of my mind, but I haven't like written any of that out yet. As far as scene beat prep, well, I think so. Like looking at what I have down, the part of the reason why I'm planning on specific scene beats is because we're culminating a 7-session battle here, right? That has an ensemble cast who is spread out across the city. And so some of the things that I'm looking at is like when do I expect certain things to be resolved, or when do I expect certain people to be in certain places, so that I don't miss like opportunities to like create meaningful moments. So like for me, you know, like I have an expectation that it's going to take the defenders at the harbor X amount of time to reach the wall if that's what they choose to do. And so that means that and this is the reason why I do it. This is the reason why I'm trying to become a little bit more of a prepper. Is because in the moment, especially when I'm streaming, and this is part of the reason why this is the other part of the reason why I've also started working on planning more, is while streaming, there's that extra distraction in the back of your mind. You know, we try to interact with chat while we play, and you know, I'm checking to make sure cameras are lined up right and the mics are sounding good. And so there's kind of like this underlying extra distraction that I don't have when I'm running a table game. And so I might miss something like, oh, you know, half the party is north and half the party is south, and you know, this is happening up north, and ideally they would like the party from the south to come and reinforce them. But when I look at what the party in the south is doing, they're probably, you know, whatever, 4 turns away from being able to do that. So in the moment, especially while I'm running a stream show, I might not think to circle back around and in the moment, you know, when it's dark just before the dawn, and you know, so I can make that more dramatic, right? Like I know, like, I'm not expecting those reinforcements, or I'm expecting those reinforcements, or whatever. I'm just using one example scenario. So like I can lean into that, and for one, I can kind of narratively like prep the players for what they can or can't expect. But for two, it can be more dramatic, right? Like you know, then we can lean into verbiage like, you know, that you're making this last stand alone, or you know, or like you know that you know, or you can kind of put a clock on it, right? Like, you know, that that reinforcements won't arrive for another 10 minutes, or whatever the situation may be. And that kind of stuff that I used to be really good at improving at the table, I feel like I've lost a lot of those cherry on top type of improvs because of the split attention of content creation. If you were to use one technique that would have the most impact at your table, the easiest prep for you as a DM that you think would give the table the best result. Yeah, that's a good extra way to kind of drill down on what it is that you're thinking about. Um, let me think about that for a moment. From your experience, get those moments back that you love as a DM. I think I would say that has the best payoff in my experience would be planning things that play to people's strengths, and also things that what's the word I want? Take advantage of people characters' weaknesses, because that's going to create more interdependency among the party, right? If we only ever fight, then the character who has high charisma doesn't get to do much with that. Or if we're only ever in town, then you know, so that's a very high level way of looking at it. But you know, in a situation like at the battle, right? We had you know, things that were on dry land, things that were on water, things that involve siege weapons, things that involve cavalry, things that involve infantry, things that involve large groups, things that involve small groups. And so each of those things was kind of built with a purpose. I mean, for one, to build verisimilitude and to make the scene feel believable. But for two is different player characters within our party have different ways to solve those problems. I keep tying everything back to the battle, obviously, because that's what's been on my mind so much for the last couple of months. But I think that that's true of you know, of a smaller skirmish planning, right? Are there trees nearby so the character that has really good acrobatics can climb them? Are there you know, of course, the everyone loves a good locked door, right? You know, or what have you. So yeah, to circle back and just kind of restate my point now that I've given a few examples, I think is when planning, looking at, it doesn't necessarily have to be that specific. So whether you're an archetype planner and you like to improv at the table, or you're you like to plan all the way down to the nitty gritty, I think is looking at ways to reward and challenge your player character's individual strengths, and ideally as well your players' individual strengths. You sent me a DM, probably too long, didn't read at the moment. Okay, yeah, I'll look at it when we get done. You remember when you got your ranger's adoptive mom, a militia candor, to divert enemy attention away from being split by a barrier of magic? I like it. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's cool. Looking at the character sheets, if you were to choose a few features, oh, sorry. Okay, I see what you're saying. I thought that was a further question, but you're kind of narrowing down, like mechanically on what I'm talking about. So looking at the character sheets, choose a few features and create encounters that include them. Yeah. Now, obviously, your players are always going to surprise you. They're going to come up with solutions you never thought of, and that's one of the reasons why, at my heart, I prefer to be more of an improv DM. So you're never going to plan all of it, but setting up situations where your players and your player characters have an opportunity to shine. Yeah. And to be clear, when you say like choosing some features, that doesn't just mean skills, right? That might mean skills. That might mean feats. That might mean vital stats. That might mean saves. Right? Like what's a dramatic thing that you could do in a social encounter that might reward your barbarian? What does that look like? Well, obviously, there's just, role play at the table. But mechanically, how do we reward the barbarian during, during the gala with all the nobles or whatever? Well, the rogue sees somebody slip something into the king's dish, and the barbarian can, whatever. Obviously, there's a ton of ways to do this, but maybe the barbarian decides that they're going to use their really good fortitude save to test it out and make sure it's not poisoned. I mean, I just came up with that, so that may not be the best example, but I think it gets the point across. Your DM philosophy is that you create problems, not solutions. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. They have 5 languages, include language. Yeah, for sure. Language is another great lever to pull on that's probably underutilized in general. Could be as simple as the other guy at the party wants to fight. Yeah, for sure. I think that's a little bit more stereotypical as far as how we're engaging the barbarian in that situation, but it definitely could be. Yeah, have fun, Justin. I appreciate the questions. Very well put. Timo, I plan nothing that way. All expectations are better than expected. Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. And yeah, that sounds really fun, Vincent. I like that idea a lot. Speaking of talk show, today ended up being a bit more of a talk show, but that's okay. It's still help. I'm still working some of the background here, and I love a good provocative question like that. Here's one story beat that I'm really gonna have to agonize over. Is what to do, or scene beat, whatever you want to call that. Is how the people inside the wall feel about there being people outside the wall. I know I was supposed to be going to break here in a second. I need to wrap up thought. Well, broadly speaking, they know that people were retreating, but more specifically, two things there. One, there are people on the walls, right? And I've talked about it a few times, maybe not quite as much as I should have, but there are couriers and pages and squires and whatnot that have been delivering orders and giving situation updates and whatnot, and like passing information along between captains and commanders. So those people would probably still be bringing communications. And also, Bridget literally rode past those people. That was the Mortal Woe session. Will Rin stay away from that more grim atmosphere? Kale makes a very salient point, but for me, I think atmosphere depends a lot for me on the adventure, right? The atmosphere, and now you can force some things, but broadly speaking, the atmosphere of, say, a sailing adventure just probably is going to be different from the atmosphere of an adventure where you're hunting down a vampire. So there are things within Ren that are more grim. There are things within Ren that are more um happy or nonsensical or whatever you want to call that. So a lot of that will depend more on, I think, the like subsetting than any specific like overarching vibe that I'm seeking to give in that way. There are some things that are, there are some things that are pretty dark within Rin, and there are some things that are pretty light within Rin. Also, I don't think you meant tomorrow. I think you meant Saturday. But yes. Your sitting is fairly similar to Rin. Gotcha, gotcha. Oh, and this gives a good tie-in. Okay. Sorry, I know we need to go to break soon. Ah. Okay. Ooh, I just thought of something. Okay. See, and there's no way I would have thought of this while we were live. Um. All right. There's one thing that we need to do there. One thing that we need to do here when we get back from break. There's another thing, a scene beat that we already dealt with. There's the thing. I still have my notes on the strategies and objectives for the remaining orcs. I think those are still good. We have our battle aftermaths, which we want to expand on after our break. Okay, we had a lot to get through there. Now we're going to take our little break. When we come back, we are going to, there's 2 to-dos that I have from the changes that we just made to the session notes. Then we're going to finish Dunstan's character sheet, because he's been like 80% done for probably a year. And then I think we're going to do some adjusting in Tailspire to combine some HP groups and damage groups and whatnot to, now that a lot of casualties and things have been dealt with throughout the course of the battle. And that'll make running the session easier on Saturday. So we have 2 quick to-dos from the note sheet, and then Dunstan and ease of administration during the battle. That's our goal for the second half of the stream. So I'll see you all in about 5 minutes. If you haven't been up off your booty in a little while, recommend you get up, move around, get a drink, and I will be back here pretty shortly. Update the clock. Oh god, I did the same thing I did last time. I forgot to hide the break starts words. There we go. Hello, Reading Squirrel. How are you? I'm just about to get up and take a break, but if you have a few minutes, I'd love to catch up with you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll be right back. Quick plug, actually, while I'm up. This is the only other time I'll link it during the stream. I promise I won't spam it too much. But if y'all haven't had a chance to enjoy our newest YouTube short, there's a quick giggle for you while I'm up. Okay. Sorry about the timing there, Reading Squirrel. I'm also trying to remember. I know that I know you primarily under a different name, but I am trying to blank on what name that is. Okay. I need to get Tailspire open. We can do one of the two things. Thank you. I appreciate you checking it out. Oh no, what did I do with my drink? Oh shoot, I left it in the other room. To steal another 20 seconds of AFK. It is also just shy of 400 likes, which is incredible. I need to roll a dice that is relevant to things. Now, Cater. Okay, there we go. There we go. Yeah, I knew, like I said, I knew that I knew your name. I just could not place it. Or I knew that I knew you by another name, but I could not place it. Sorry, I have way too many people with way too many names on way too many platforms. Also, where's my timer? What the heck? Wow? Stream elements? Weird. Hold on. There we go. Third time's the charm, right? So we need to make a roll. I'm not. If you for the people that watched our last session, you'll know what this roll is for. But I forgot to do it during the session. I think I'm gonna do it now just to make sure. Oh. Oh wow. Okay. What I will say is this roll is has a +10 on it. Okay. Oh, you're not a distraction. I appreciate you being here. Hi, how are you? Oh, wait, no, actually. Okay, hold on. I need to double check. Ah, I was doing that wrong. Okay. This is why we look at things. It's not just level. Family dinner for your dad's birthday. Oh, enjoy. But you're tired because you worked back shift last night and then had. Oh no! I've been meaning to ask you actually. Do we have any news on the new position? Okay. That was a. Excellent. That is done. They're having problems with getting in contact with your references. Still? Oh no, I know that's what you said like 4 or 5 days ago, but I was hoping that would have sorted itself out. Dang it. Okay. Need to hide that for a minute so we stay spoiler free for folks that are watching the sessions. If we have 6 times 2 is 12, and 12 oh, this will work out perfectly. Okay. So 6 times 2 is 12, and then 1d8. The average of 1d8 plus 2 is 6.5. So 6.5 times 12 is, I feel like mathing that in my head right now. 78. Okay. So if we have, so good, it's so good, it's so good. Okay. That works out perfectly. I have the perfect way to deal with this. Sorry, I know you can't see what I'm doing, but like I said, that's on purpose because I don't want it to be spoilery. So that person is there, and I know we're really close to our maximum number of units, but let's see if I can get Tailspired. Let me place just a few. Just a few. Yes. Okay. Precisely what we needed. GM tools, base color, red. And status, knockdown. Excellent. Okay. I need to write that down so I don't forget about it in the moment. Okay. So yeah, you're frustrated because it feels like you're being sabotaged, even though you know that's not what's happening. I think that's very valid. I'm proud of you for also recognizing that that's not what's happening. But still, that it's still hard. Is there anything that you can do to encourage your people to reach out to the reference checkers instead of them having to wait to be the other way around? They found out that HR lost your emergency teaching permit that you emailed to them. You guess they never got it. And, oh my gosh. You have one and they know that they have it. It's just not on record. So you can't sign your contract yet. Still? Oh my lord. Oh my lord. Okay, so what would be, so this is a bit of a scene beat then. So it would take, it would take 3 more. So it would be on scene 3. Oh, that's so good. Okay, this is why I wanted to plan some of this stuff out, because I can see ahead of time how I'm expecting certain things to interact with each other.
Team Rocket is the
that's
first
so
chatter and has
good.
been first 2 times.
I have my headphones on, so I can't hear what's being announced there. I'm assuming somebody just went and followed on Twitch or something. Thank you if that was you. You tried that already, and it started a phone tag game. I mean, could they mail their reference check? Oh my lord. Could they mail the reference check questions that they have to the people so that it could be done, or email so that it could be done asynchronously? What the other teachers had to say about them. You have to keep a close watch on your paychecks. That's just good advice in general, honestly. Okay, so we've got 20 minutes left ish. How long until our drop deadline? 25 minutes until our drop deadline. Oh boy. we need to figure out how we are going to track the HP and damage of individual units here. So there's a few benefits and a few drawbacks because we've been having units do damage based on like per meta turn for each unit. So if we combine all of the units now into like just a few, that's going to make running the battle easier to keep track of, but it's also going to slow down the rate at which the remaining like armies are killing each other. The question is that a bad thing? Or does that help us reach our finale? Does that help or hinder us finalizing things during the next session? I am anticipating getting through about 5 to 6 meta turns during this next session. We have been doing about 3, but I think several of these will be faster for reasons that I won't get into to avoid spoilers. So in that context, I think it actually helps us timing wise if we recombine them into a few units instead of having it be parts of a bunch of units. The dangerous part there is what that means for ranged attacks. But I think what we'll do is because what had happened was the humans had all of their crossbowmen separate from their units, and then those crossbowmen were split up into kind of units of their, like 4 units of their own, whereas the orcs' crossbowmen were inclusive of their units, or their units were inclusive of their crossbowmen, so they were distributed out. I think what we do is we combine all of the remaining orc crossbowmen into one group, and then separate that group into chunks. So that way they are set up the same way the human crossbowmen are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. That's, oh, okay, that matches up really well also. What about here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I think we can make this work. I think it is. I think doing that is both like still honorable to the way that the battle runs, and also provides a narrative pacing that will work well for for the number of turns we're expecting to have. Now, what I think we do want to do is, in order to actually get through 6 turns during the next session, we're going to have to be really on the ball. If we start more on time by 3:30, then we have, like, theoretically, my guess would be if we're really, really, really close, our East Coasters would probably be okay with going until 9:30. to finish things up, but we have at most an hour per meta turn. What's realistically going to happen is probably have like like 4 turns that are like 75 minutes each, and then 2 turns that are like 15 minutes each. But regardless, I think we're going to want to communicate ahead of time with all of our players, and also I'm going to want to set timers, because otherwise we're not going to hit the pace that we need. Realistically, now that I think about it, setting timers for meta turns is something I've done in the past at table games, and probably something that we should have done earlier on during this battle. But I think overall we have not spent a lot of time dallying. There has been a couple of times here and there where we've had to stop to take care of things mechanically or whatever have you. But for the most part, I think we've done pretty good at keeping things moving. So I think we want to God, how do I even do this? I forgot. We want to publish a copy of this board. We want to copy this board. We want to go to our boards list. We want to add the copy. Then I want to rename the copy Capstone Backup. I've been doing this about every other session anyway during the battle. Then we want to go to the Capstone page and then make some changes there. Which one of you hooligans is in our Twitch chat? Oh, several of you. I'm pretty sure those commands just also work in the YouTube chat. Like, Lumia should be watching YouTube chat. Like, what if you do exclamation point police here? Uh-huh. The timing on that was incredible, because I don't even know if that person is listening to the YouTube stream. I think that was completely unrelated. So who is the lucky captain here? That's Vincent. Or maybe I should have we should. Oh, no, but he has his own. Okay. Well, yeah, we'll keep using Vincent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Provided that no one interrupts the game or certain instances of mishaps. Oh, for sure. Traveling and then cutting the grass. All right. Well, thanks for coming by, Malkator. Appreciate you. And hello, Mortal Woes. How are you? Is 320. Tired. I'm assuming that's but good. Work was busy, suppose that's a good thing. Well, I'm sorry you're tuckered out, but I'm glad it was a good day at work at least. Appreciate you coming by, sir. We are cleaning some things up for how we're going to run the battle. Yeah, because we you know, as the front lines and whatnot have changed, and you know, casualties have happened and whatnot, there are lots of small groups, and I think it makes more sense at this point to create a couple of larger groups. So that's what I'm doing in the background right now. I'm trying to remember, and this goes back a ways. I don't know if Kale's still here. Do you have any recollection of how you guys all met Landon? Because in general, I tried to keep notes on that sort of thing as you guys interacted with various I tried to keep notes on when you guys met with people and like how you met them and whatnot. And it's possible I may have mixed up some NPCs. Okay. From your perspective, do you remember who the person is that is in Ava's chain of command? Also, a quick reminder to everybody that's here, and I appreciate you being here. If you haven't had a chance yet, please don't forget to thumbs up the live stream. That's an easy, free way to tell YouTube that you like what we're doing and that they should show what we're doing to more people. Okay. Okay, Randall. I just wanted to make sure that that Randall and Landon had not been accidentally merged. That kind of thing happens sometimes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Hello, Knockout. How are you today? This is a little awkward. You're good. I didn't join the end of the stream, right? Well, sort of. I am probably going to be going a tad overtime today. We had more to do than I thought when we sat down. In general, we try and keep 90 minutes at our like drop dead time, which would be about 10 minutes from now. Probably going to have to go over that a little bit. This is an approximate guide. So you're all good. I appreciate you tuning in. How's your day been? Overtime. Speaking of D&D and overtime, you're not missing your session, are you, Kale? Your other session, I suppose? Just don't drop that in 10 minutes. Thank you. I'll try not to. Okay, I have a plan. This makes sense. I'm going to grab the captain, chieftain of the Frostbite Horde, and use them to track the HP of the enemy crossbowmen. And then we're going to use the Blackscale Tribe's chieftain to track the HP of the remaining orc frontliners. No, they canceled today. The DM had a rough day at work and opted to cancel so they could chill out. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Normally, that would be a small boon to us on a Wednesday because we could play games after I get done here. And I guess we probably could still do a little bit, but I do have a Discord event in a little over 2 hours. But Knockout, to you, I'm glad that you're here. I'm sorry you did catch us on the tail end, but I'm glad that you caught us at least. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to chime in. Of course, we do try and keep these streams spoiler free, but I'm happy to talk in broad strokes about the campaign or what I'm working on or anything like that. You did message me for a possible Dota game. Wait, I thought you said the message that you sent was too long to read right now. 26 was the number I said a minute ago, right? Yeah. After you sent another one or two. Got it. Okay, so that has been dealt with, and then I need to make a note of what is included in that. General info. When you found out you were no longer D&D. Gotcha. Right. So for knock out anybody else who's tuning in nearer to the end here, I'm intentionally not showing what I'm doing because I don't want it to be spoilery, especially since we're nearing the finale of our big battle scene. But what we're working on is combining together the remnants of units to be easier to work with during the session. There's one thing that we definitely won't get done today, which is recalculating damages. That's going to take too long, and I don't want to go that far over on stream. But we can get through phase 1 here. Now I need to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Oh, that actually works out really well. Wow. Wait, that's crazy how well that works out. What? The orcs have the exact same number of frontline left as they have range. It's kind of wild. Now, how do we want to handle the remaining chieftains? That's a little more difficult. I think we just knock them down. Probably makes the most sense. Keep track of. Except for that one. Okay. So let's see, what have we done? We've set up our scene beats. We have, or, you know, kind of the scenes that we expect to hit in roughly the order that we expect to hit them. We've combined the HP pools of our remaining combatants under certain commanders and captains. We need to recalculate. Okay, so then the remaining things is to recalculate the damage for the newly combined units. And today we're not going to finish Dunstan's character sheet. I'll have to do that off screen, but that's okay. And then decide about that. Okay, combine a few notes here. Result of that roll that we did a few minutes ago. Add 5% damage for that. That means we can clean that out of the other part of our notes where that was taking up room. The battle aftermath, there's probably still a few more things to do there, but not that we're going to need for the next session. And we already planned most of our possible aftermath for success, failure, or critical failure. We have notes for that. We have notes for that. Okay. All right. Last Wednesday working stream was really productive. This one was still productive, but this is definitely one where we identified a lot more things that we need to do than we actually got done. But sometimes it's like that. That's okay. Part of the point of this is to coordinate my efforts, coordinate and organize my efforts. So we got a few things done. We got our battle finale planning taken care of. We worked out our pacing. And most of the scenes that we wanted to hit. And we touched on possible aftermaths a little bit. So as far as the goals that we set out with, I did actually accomplish them during the stream today. However, that was not as closed-ended as I was initially expecting because we found about another half a dozen things that I need to do before this weekend's stream. So very glad that we did that. Would rather find that out on Wednesday than on Saturday right before session. And now I have a direction for what more I need to do. Realistically, I probably have about another 1 to 2 hours of prep to do. So that's good to know. I'm going to put that on my to-do list for the week so that I make time for that appropriately. Normally, I would just say, like, I will just wing the last little bit and then finish up anything, that's not done yet. Kind of when we get to it. But as what we're doing is directly pertinent to next session, not just kind of like general world prep, I'm going to need to do that off stream. So the last thing I think then for today is going to be I owe 16 bicep curls from each arm for a tier 2 resub on Twitch that happened last night, and I forgot to do it before the stream ended last night. So we're gonna do that here really quickly. So if you haven't been up off your booty in a little while, of course you don't have to do bicep curls, but I would encourage you to get up and move around a little bit with me for the last minute or so here. Moving your body, whatever that looks like for you, whether you want to do, take a few steps or do a few squats, do a push-up or two if you're capable of. Obviously don't overdo it, but it's good to move around. Excellent. Thank you all for being here. It was a pleasure, even if it was a little bit less organized this time. I do apologize about that. But some days we're more successful, and some days we're a little bit less successful with our goals. That's why they're called goals. We will keep striving to narrow down what we do during these sessions and manage our time and our efforts and whatnot. So I'm excited, of course, for session on Saturday. If you don't already have us followed on Twitch, it's twitch.tv/HereThereBeMonsters. And also the video for last weekend's session, session 14, should be going up on YouTube ideally tomorrow, Thursday the 22nd. But if not tomorrow, then definitely on Friday, so people can catch up if they want to. So thank you all for being here. Our next stream is Friday on Twitch. We're playing some GTA roleplay. And our next working Wednesday stream will be next week. Hey, thank you so much for hanging out, Tim, and everybody else that was here. Take care, you guys. And as always, be excellent to each other.